Hey everyone, it's FinalRound and my name is Jordan and I'm glad to be back. I did get some good sleep and I took a day off, took my wife out on a date and it was great. I know the lighting always looks like I got punched in my eye or I'm really tired and I didn't get much rest. But I appreciate all the comments that everyone gave that they do care about my well-being. I only made that comment about people not caring because I have had people tell me they don't care about anything about my life or anything like that. They just want the picks from me. Which I hope they never watch this channel and I hope they go away and I hope they rethink their lives because we should definitely care about the people around us. Let's talk about basketball. So I am filming the night before, like I always do. I do have lines for just a few games. There aren't many. This isn't a huge slate. You will see images that come up on the screen for the lines that I do have, and those images will be from a data app called Outlier. There'll be a link in the description that'll give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And let's talk about the teams that'll be on a back-to-back. So right now the Trailblazers and the Grizzlies are playing against each other. They'll get no days off and they're going to play against each other again. Some notable names that are not in this game that I noticed was Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard, and DeAndre Ayton were all not playing. So if they play in this game, then it's going to be a little bit different. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for some injury reports on all of that. And for some other games, we do have a lot of rematches. I know the NBA has changed the scheduling over the years to have teams kind of play each other back to back just so they don't have to travel as much, which makes sense. But I have a notebook full of notes for you guys all over the place, and I tried to get as many picks in as I could, and I'll explain why after I give the picks. But my first pick's gonna be Cameron Johnson over 15.5 points. This is at -109 right now. I missed the bump. This was at 14.5. It already got bumped up. He had a huge game last game, Nets versus Hawks. The Nets won by around 30 points. The Hawks give up the 8th most points to the power forward position, and he had a huge game, and I was wondering why he wasn't scoring much, and then he had this really big game, and I looked at the injury report and I saw Cam Thomas was out, so I filtered all the games with Cam Thomas out, and then boom, it popped up. He does get a lot more shots in, obviously, because Cam Thomas, love him or hate him, he takes a lot of shots. You can call him a ball hog or whatever. You can call him a baller. That's just who Cam Thomas is. But he's gone over 6 out of 9 games with Cam Thomas out. Cam Thomas has already been declared out for this game, and Cameron Johnson has this really good matchup that he obviously loves, because against the Hawks this season, even with Cam Thomas there, he's gone over in all 3 games this year in this matchup. He really likes to play against them, so I'm okay with the 15.5. I did notice a line that did not get bumped up, and you guys know I like to point out first quarter props because they do show up on Outlier, and sometimes you can get some good deals on props. His first quarter points is at 3.5, so this is one of those situations where he just needs 2 baskets. This is at -115, and against the Hawks this year in the first quarter, he has 6 points, 11 points, and 12 points. So way over this line. He's easily getting the baskets, and with Cam Thomas out, I see he's getting around 8 to 9 minutes. So I really like this matchup for him. And also just kind of looking through the props, I did find another one that I liked. The Hawks give up the most steals to the power forward position, and his steals is something you could probably add to a parlay. It's at -175. He's got a steal in 9 out of the last 10 games, and he's got a steal in every single game versus the Hawks this year, with 2 steals in 2 of those games. So that's already 3 different picks for one player. I used to try to just keep it small because a lot of people like to hate on you if you give a ton of picks, and if you miss a few, they just come back and they'll be like, hey, you missed this one. And it's just like, yeah, I know, appreciate the reminder. But screw it. If I find a good line, I find some good data to back it up, I'm going to give it to you guys. The second pick, sticking with this game, I feel like there's a lot of good matchups with this game. It's going to be Saddiq Bey over 6.5 rebounds plus assist. The Nets give up the 8th most rebounds to the small forward position and the 15th most assists. Now his rebounds line is at 5.5, so adding the assist is just +1. And I really like these scenarios where it's just +1, because if he gets 1, okay, he pushes, you basically get that rebounds line, and then if he gets over 1, then it's helping out the rebounds line. So he's gone over this in 7 out of the last 9 games, and he's gone over in the last 2 meetings against the Nets, and even in the blowout game, he played 30 minutes and he went over this mark. And before I get into this next pick, could you guys please like the video? And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? And I also want to shout out a new YouTuber. I've been trying to get him to make a YouTube for a while from my Discord. Mike Keto has finally made a YouTube channel. He's been giving picks in my Discord for a year, I believe. And I've been telling him, hey man, make a channel. You're really good at this. And people love him. He's made a lot of people money. He just didn't feel too comfortable behind the camera. And I went back and looked at some of my videos, and he looked better than I did when I first started. And I was very nervous talking about all these picks and stuff like that. But he's going to get better at it. Go check him out and subscribe to his channel. He's giving good picks there. I'll put a link in the pinned comment for his channel, so you can hop on over there and check it out. I really like his thumbnail. His thumbnail's already better than mine, and I've been doing this for over a year. So this third pick, it's going to be Dejounte Murray. I'm expecting this game to not be a blowout again. You know, you play a team twice. If you get blown out by them by 30 points twice, this isn't the Bucks versus the Hornets. This is, two, okay teams, bad to okay teams playing against each other. Don't expect 2 huge blowouts. So I like Dejounte Murray over 27.5 points plus rebounds. That's at minus 125. The Nets are giving up the 8th most points to the point guard position and the 3rd most rebounds to the point guard position. So I sorted out how he's been scoring and rebounding with Trae Young out. He's gone over in 4 out of the last 5 games with Trae Young out. And in that game with the blowout, he still dropped 28 points on the Nets, and he got 6 rebounds. And I have to point out the pick that I picked last time, because this is the same matchup. This rebounds line is at 5.5. It didn't move at all. It was at plus 100. It was even money last time. Now it's at minus 108. Almost even money. He went over this rebounds line in 8 minutes in the second quarter. He got all 6 rebounds, and then it ended up being a blowout, and he didn't have to play as much. He's gone over this rebounds line in 4 out of the last 5 games, and he's gone over in every single game against the Nets this year, and it's because they give up the 3rd most rebounds to the point guard position. I wouldn't take this on a prop app, like I said last time, but if I'm on a sports book and I want a shot at some even money or close to even money, I still think this is a good bet, especially if we get a closer game. My 4th pick, the Heat and the Jazz. I really struggle with Heat games because the Heat have a lot of mouths to feed. Now that everyone's getting healthier. Tyler Hero is questionable, it looks like. Bam Adebayo isn't the most reliable in the world, and he has a really good matchup here. He's not like a traditional center. And then they play good defense no matter who is out. Like, they play a good system type defense, so it's hard to pick guys to go against them. They have really good defense. But one pick that I did find that I do like is going to be Terry Rozier, who just returned from injury. He's played 2 games. I like him over 8.5 rebounds plus assist. The Jazz give up the 11th most rebounds and the 2nd most assists to the point guard position. He's gone over this in 7 out of the last 10 games with the Heat and 74% of the time this season. And coming off of injury, you would think there's a minutes restriction, but there's not. He's been playing 30 plus minutes in both of the games. He went over this once, and then he didn't go over in his very first game back. And now for a couple of picks that I don't have the lines for. It's just a matchup type thing. We got to talk about Jabari Smith Jr. and his rebounding. The Suns, he's going up against the Suns for the 3rd time in the past 5 games. And the Suns actually give up the 7th least rebounds to the power forward position, but Jabari Smith Jr. doesn't care about rankings. Over the past 4 games, he's averaged 18 points and 15.5 rebounds. And 2 of those games over the last 4 have been against the Suns. So his scoring lines have been 22 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, and then 11 points, 16 rebounds, 0 assists. Tell me what is the common theme with Jabari Smith Jr. against the Suns. 16 rebounds. So definitely keep an eye out for his rebounds line. The matchup doesn't favor it whatsoever, but it doesn't seem to matter for him. His rebounds line has been around 8.5, 9.5. But as long as this guy is rebounding like this, I would keep taking his over. He's a young player. He's a top pick. Maybe he's just finally, blossoming. So, and before I get into this last pick, I want to shout out my partners, Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, and ChalkBoard. Use promo code FinalRound11 on any of these. They'll match your first deposit up to $100, and Sleeper will do it up to $500. There will be links in the description that'll take you straight there with the promo codes, and thank you to anyone who uses those. Now, this sixth pick, I was looking at the Lakers and the Nuggets. I feel like they play every single day. I don't know why. But the Lakers have a soft spot at the small forward position. They give up the fourth most points, the fourth most rebounds, and the second most assists to the small forward position. And the Nuggets, that is Michael Porter Jr. So Michael Porter Jr. has played the Lakers twice this year. He's got 12 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and then 27 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. I really like how high his rebounds are against them. So we'll just keep an eye out where those lines come out at, where his points might come out at. And I know his assist is normally either +1 or +2 onto a line. So it's also something to keep an eye out for. And there are Nuggets and Lakers lines out. They just don't have Michael Porter Jr. out for whatever reason. If you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. The link is in the description. I've been debating on putting lines in the pinned comment with these matchups that I give. The reason is because the last video that I did, I had 2 picks that missed. I had Josh Giddey assist and Dame PRA, and both of those missed, and those weren't part of my original notes. I had done original research before looking at the lines, and those were 2 that I added on later. The ones that I did have that hit were Chet Holmgren PRA and Dejounte Murray over the rebounds, and also Josh Hart. He played really well. He hit his points and rebounds. So the 3 that hit were all part of the original research. I had Jonathan Kuminga with a really good matchup for points. I didn't mention it, and he went off for points. Obviously, Chet Holmgren. I had Wemby over rebounds and assists because of his matchup. He destroyed that. I mentioned Anthony Davis in that video, that if I knew he was playing, I would take him, and he destroyed his line. There was Nick Claxton against the Hawks. Hawks actually give up a lot of rebounds, but Nick Claxton just hasn't been going over his lines. They put his lines up really high. You can't. I've struggled to take the under because the matchup's so good, but I definitely fading Nick Claxton. Then I had Jalen Suggs for blocks and steals. He went over that. I had Mo Wagner of the Magic, most points given up to centers by the Jazz. He went over that. And then Paolo Banchero, most points and most assists to the power forward position. He crushed it. So these were all stuff that I had written down, and I just omitted it from the video for whatever reason. I guess I just wanted to keep it at 6 picks, and I added in the 2 that I ended up adding in after seeing the lines was Josh Giddey and Dame, and those were the ones that ended up missing. I know this video is going longer than I normally do. I got sleep, so I figured the people who really like watching this channel are still watching. So I'll try to give all of my research that I do and not try to hide things, I guess. To be 100% honest with you, when you're doing this, a lot of people like to, hate on any little thing that you miss. Like if I gave 10 picks and I got 7 right and 3 wrong, people will come back and they'll hate on the 3 that you got wrong. They'll say you work for the books and all whatever. But if I gave like 2 picks and those 2 picks were correct, those same people would either be quiet or they'd come back and be like, oh, that was amazing compared to like a 7 and 3. So that's just why I've started to give, when I give a player, I'll give different options for that player and stuff like that. I'll probably call this video like 6 best bets because of 6 different players, but really there's more than 6 bets. And I did forget to mention, if you do well with it and you feel like giving back, I have a Cash App and Venmo in the description. You can donate back to the channel. I did have some people donate over the past few days, just saying thank you, and appreciate that. You know who you are. So God bless you all, and get this edited and get it out to you. I hope you have a great Saturday. is Final Round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.